Welcome to Home Biz Tax Talk. My name is Lysandra Everett. I am the Home Biz Tax Lady, where I help home business owners win the tax game. Home Biz Tax Talk airs Monday through Friday, 9 o'clock-ish. And when you tune into my show, you're going to hear about topics that are important to the home business community. Okay, what do you do with your business taxes when you got to move? This is something I know all too well. And as a matter of fact, there are a lot of military spouses like me who have to move on the regular, okay? And so we know what life looks like when you got to move, but really, for everybody else, where moving is just an occasional thing, what does that look like? So, when it comes down to a business, like if you have your single member LLC or your sole proprietorship, that part can be really simple in that you're filing for multiple states. Now, the trick is though that when you're filing your part year, so you might be part year, like I was, part year in Massachusetts and part year in Virginia, then you have to know, you have to be able to apportion your income. So you need to know how much money you made in the first state and how much money you made in the second state. This is why bookkeeping is so important, right? Because if you go to your bookkeeping, you can put in from this date to this date and figure out how much money you made. And so you know how much money you made where. Okay, when it comes down, so even whether it is a W-2 job or even if it's your income, you still have to apportion that income because there are people who move for their jobs as well. So it's the same thing. It's how much money did you make in this state and pay those state taxes, and how much money did you make in this state and pay those state taxes. So, but on the business side is that you have to know how much you made when. Now, moving towards the end of the year, moving in December, you might as well file, full year from where you were because you probably wasn't even in that state, the second state, long enough to do anything. But otherwise, you have to, if you are in that second state that you moved to long enough to earn money in your business or to, earn money in your job, then yeah, you have to file that second state. Even though it might not be that much, they may not have taken that much out for state taxes, you still have to do it because at the end of the day, you might just wind up getting a refund from that second state that you moved to because you just weren't there long enough, but you still have an obligation to file. And believe you me, when I tell you, they will come for you. I can't tell you how many times I've had to fight with states because I'm a military spouse. And so I don't claim residency in every state that I move to. Just no, I'm a military spouse. There's different rules for military spouses as there is, as there are for civilian spouses. So for military spouses, we don't claim residency every time we move. If that's the case, we'll be residents of 45 states by the time our time is done. It don't work like that. But for everybody else, when you actually move, you change your state of residency, then you have to, you may still have a filing requirement, even though it might be something small, because they will, just like with anything else, those W-2s get filed, your 1099s get filed. And so people are going to be looking for these tax returns, right? They're going to be looking for these tax returns because they're going to get these documents and they're going, okay, we see that you lived here, but you didn't file taxes and you owe us money. And so then you have to go through the fight of proving that you don't owe states money. I've had to do this a countless number of times. I actually keep a copy of our orders and whatnot on hand. So whenever I get these letters from these different states, California and Missouri were my two worst states that I had to send them like, hey, no, I'm sorry. I don't owe you money. Have a nice day. So, yeah, it is apportioning income, though. That is the biggest thing, is being able to say, when I lived in your state, I made this much money. And when I lived in this state, I made this much money. Moving, within the state, that's no big deal because you're still dealing with the same state law. Now, your local laws may change. There are some places that have, city taxes, like Philadelphia has a city tax. There are some places that have local taxes. So you have to definitely check that out. The other thing that you have to consider is if you have a single member LLC. Then, and if you have formed in one state and you move to another, you got two options. You either close down the LLC in the original state and open it again in the second state. You want to open before you close, okay? Or you file as a foreign entity in that second state. The one thing that you don't do is that you just don't go off all willy-nilly and are just, doing business without doing that. That is more of a compliance thing, but you have to understand that if you get busted, that can be kind of ugly. So you want to make sure of, whatever state that your LLC is in. And this kind of goes along with people who open their LLCs in Delaware and Nevada and they live in other states. You still have to register as a foreign entity in the state in which you live. Okay. So for people who move, your options again are to close down that LLC in the state that it's in and open it in the current state that you live, or you register as a foreign entity in the state in which you live. Now, if you're going to be moving like a ping pong ball like I do, then you know what? You're going to probably be registering as foreign entities, or you'll be opening and shutting down businesses every 2 seconds. And that's just, no, that just does not work. So, but that's more on the compliance side is, that really doesn't have anything to do with taxation, but it's on the compliance end because it does affect your taxes. It can affect your taxes on the state level because the state can be saying you owe us money and you really don't. But because you didn't do that compliance thing and register as a foreign entity or shut down the business somewhere else, then that you might have the state coming for you on that end. Okay. It might take them a while. Okay. It's not going to be something where, you file your taxes and then 3 months later you get this letter and you get it all straightened out. No, it's usually a year or even 2 years later that you finally get letters in the mail and they're saying that, you owe them money. Okay. So plan for that when you're moving is to look to, to check with the local laws to see if you have any local tax responsibility, because that is one thing that can really come back to bite you, because not everywhere has, like I said, like city taxes, not everywhere has that, but you still have to check. It's not going to be something that's, that's glaring out there. That's something that you have to take the responsibility to check to say, hey, do you have this or what? Okay. So I really hope that helps you out. And, if your bookkeeping is straight, then apportioning income will not be a problem. But if your bookkeeping is off, you have no way of knowing how much money you made where. That could tend to be a problem. All right. So thank you guys so much. Hold on. I got one question. Do I need to get a new EIN since I moved? No, your EIN is a federal number. So you don't need to get a new tax ID when you move, but you do need to update your address with the government and to say, hey, I have moved. So you definitely want to do that because they still have the tendency to send you letters for whatever reason. So you want to make sure that you update your address with your EIN when you move so that all of those documents are straight. Okay, now I'm done. All right, you guys, thank you so much for tuning into Home Biz Tax Talk. Again, we air Monday through Friday, 9 o'clock-ish, and you can come right here to get your questions answered about your home business taxes. And if you have not booked your 15-minute complimentary consult, you can do so at www.homebiztaxchat.com. All right, have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.